Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoBalls Talk. I'm ProtoMet.
This is Barry and my recycled balls.
I'm Tank, and I'm here to save this podcast because the last one was fucking terrible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Admittedly, it was pretty fucking dreadful.
And plus, they called me out at the end of it, so I needed to show up.
Sorry.
Also, fun fact, it hasn't taken 2 months for us to do another one of these.
It took us 2 weeks.
Yes, it took us 2 weeks as opposed to 2 months, like the last one.
So, we just watched the movie that we're reviewing today, yesterday, as at the time of the recording.
Which is a very unusual thing these days.
Yeah.
And we would have had this podcast up earlier, but...
Yeah, but real life stuff happened, but hey, we're still able to get it done today. So, the movie we're reviewing today is Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Arguably the most memorable of the original trilogy.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I feel that the second one is a bit more memorable, but
It doesn't have Tina Turner.
That is true.
Not only that,
Fair point.
not only that, name a quote from the second movie.
We're waiting.
Just walk away. Just walk away.
Okay, that's the only one, right? Okay.
Admittedly, yeah.
Okay, now quote Beyond Thunderdome. There's Raggedy Man, who runs Bartertown, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Master Blaster.
You know, for years, I kept hearing people reference Master Blaster, and I had no idea what they were referencing.
I was thinking like it might have been like a squirt gun.
Yeah.
Like I thought, are they referencing the video game Blaster Master?
All I have to say is, you'll like this joke. Master Blaster is if a guy had a Gundam, but sat on the outside of it, and they were to the scale of humans.
So Mazinger Z.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
Mazinger G.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is funny because he was talking about Mazinger Z yesterday.
Hey, it's got a kick-ass opening theme.
Well, yeah.
But I won't go into too much detail because I got to make a video of it later this year.
He won't go into too much detail because his blinding rage yesterday was.
I don't even want to talk about that because that's not what we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk.
We're here to talk about Tina Turner.
We're going to talk about the random steak that I saw sitting on a stand.
No, we're not.
You just arrived and there was a steak sitting.
Well, I didn't even notice it. I'm like,
on the counter. It's like, what?
I'm like,
There is a story behind it. I'd rather not get into it, though.
but I was confused.
Out of context.
Yep.
Out of context, though. The funniest part of yesterday was me upstairs. All of a sudden, I hear, "Hey, asshole!"
Like I said, I'd rather not talk about it. Okay? Let's just move on. I don't know what any of this has to do with Tina Turner.
Well, okay.
I mean, I get what some of it has to do with Mel Gibson, but not Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You calling Mel Gibson an asshole yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not my fault that Mel Gibson is an asshole now.
Yeah, so today we're talking about Mel Gibson. We're talking about Tina Turner and noted anti-Semite Mel Gibson. Before he was a noted anti-Semite, back when everybody thought he could do no wrong with Lethal Weapon. Actually, no, this was before Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
No, he could do no wrong with Mad Max, except for the first Mad Max.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
That one was not. Yeah. Lethal Weapon came out, I believe, in '87. Beyond Thunderdome came out in '85. This was just when Tina Turner was getting really popular, and this was 10 years before she did GoldenEye.
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah, really.
GoldenEye?
She did GoldenEye.
I did not know that.
She did.
Granted, I don't pay too much attention.
Yeah,
to
she did.
James
She
Bond,
did the
so.
theme for GoldenEye. Yeah, they're weird. Wild.
Yeah.
Well, she is a good singer.
Yeah, she's a very
yes.
good singer, but Yeah, she was alright in this movie.
Yeah.
Not great, not terrible, but getting into it, let's just get into it. So, the movie starts off in the middle of the wilderness, the Australian outback, the sandy dunes of Australia, which I don't think exist.
I'm pretty sure a lot of Australian people would refute that claim.
I think there's a decent amount of sand
I don't
dunes.
think there's a lot of sand dunes, but no desert.
No, it doesn't.
I'm pretty sure.
Hold on.
Although, to be fair, this is a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's possible.
Hold on. Australian desert.
Good old
The
Google.
desert of Australia. It is literally like only in central Australia. Like not even. It's a small strip compared to the rest of the.
It does look like it takes up a rather significant area, relatively speaking.
Yes, relatively speaking, but it's not that big. No, the rest.
There's clearly enough space for them to film like 3 movies.
But the outback though is like mostly arid shrubland. It's not desert because it has life. Obviously.
So it's mostly Mad Max 1 as opposed to 2 and 3.
Pretty much, but a little more orange.
Okay, that works.
Think like Utah, you know?
I'm actually thinking of an episode of Ultraman Towards the Future, which was filmed in Australia. So
Okay,
that's
so you know, like an Oregon Trail, you know, there's the plot of land where it's like it's not desert, but it's definitely not forest.
So dirt.
It's mostly like
in between.
The small shrubs, a few trees, maybe some cacti here and there.
Right.
Lots
But
of
anyway,
huge tracts of land.
But anyway, it's got Max Rakatansky traveling through it on a camel-drawn V8 wagon with a monkey.
For some reason, it's just a monkey.
I don't know what happened to his dog.
It died.
Do monkeys even actually, I never mind. I take that back. Maybe monkeys existed in the outback.
But yeah, he's got a monkey now for some reason.
No dog, because the dog's dead. Dog died.
Did the dog die in the
Dog
movie?
died.
Okay, I did not remember that.
They fucking killed the dog.
Maybe I just blocked it from my memory.
Yeah.
Good idea.
But yeah, basically Max gets his caravan stolen
By a child.
by a dude and his child on an airplane. The same guy by the same actor
Who played the gyro captain in the previous
Yes.
movie. This character's named Jedediah, and his son is Jedediah Jr.
Jedediah.
Jedediah or Jebediah?
Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Fucking Australian names, I tell you.
Okay.
Damn criminals. That's a joke.
I realize that, and I understand it, but you've just been canceled.
Damn.
We'll allow
Fuck,
you to.
maybe I should just make fun of the French next time.
Yeah, nobody cares.
What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Surrender?
What are they gonna do? Scream "Sacre bleu"?
Actually, they probably could launch insults at you.
They are noted insulters.
Also, they throw cows.
They do throw cows too.
So
Lord knows how. Maybe they throw.
trebuchet, I would say,
Well, not with modern equipment. Maybe with like a tank.
like a modern trebuchet.
Maybe with like a modern cannon. They stuff the cow in there. You know, like in circuses. Anyways,
Well,
So anyway, Max gets his vehicle stolen.
and he just wanders through the desert until he finds a place called Bartertown.
I do know that the monkey does leave him a trail that leads him to Bartertown.
Yeah.
So.
he finds his clothing,
Yep.
like his shoes, boots. He was barefoot apparently while he was.
Yeah, he was just barefoot in the desert.
Makes sense. I mean, he was in a vehicle. It's not like he was on the sand.
Right.
Proper,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but then he got drop kicked off.
He probably didn't want swamp foot.
Yeah.
Desert foot. Ooh.
Well, I meant swamp foot because of how sweaty.
Right,
It
I
would get.
got it.
Okay.
But in this case, it would be desert foot.
Fair. Well, it
He
ended up
wouldn't
being
be able to
desert
get
foot.
all that sand off of his foot.
I don't like sand.
It's small and coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Got sand in my butt crack.
Imitate mine. No!
Well, he did say it gets everywhere.
So he finds Bartertown, and long story short, he impresses the locals enough that they're like, yeah, we'll bring you inside, we'll bring you to our leader, maybe we've got a job for you.
He doesn't have anything to barter to get into the town, except for his skills, because he's there to try and find the asshole who robbed him.
Which is funny, he never does!
Until the very end!
That's true. That is true. He doesn't.
He doesn't find this guy for most
He
of the
finds his car. Or a car, he might have said.
He finds his car.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember when Fist of the North Star started.
84.
Okay, so before this,
Yes.
I guess maybe they took inspiration from that for some of the town design,
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
or maybe they just independently came up with some interesting ideas.
But long story short, he goes up, he basically wins a 5-on-1 duel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which impresses the leader of Bartertown, Auntie Entity.
Played by Tina Turner, of course.
Yep.
Yes. Wait, before that happens, he's got to give up all of his weapons, and he's got pulling out guns and knives. And he pulls out the shotgun out of nowhere.
He basically pulls out every weapon that he's come across.
Yep, pretty much.
In Mad Max 2.
Oh yeah. Even I like how it looks like let him keep a fly swatter.
Yeah. He keeps a fly swatter, and that's about it.
Which he ends up using in the duel because it's...
it's a knife.
It's secretly got a knife.
It's actually a knife, yeah.
Which a clever girl.
Oh, man, I don't want to... It's a nice segue into Jurassic Park there, though. Spoken by the Australian Robert Muldoon. So, very, very good, though.
I wasn't even considering that, but yeah that works surprisingly well.
Everybody but Tina Turner in this movie is Australian.
Yep.
And Master.
Yeah.
Master
is... We don't hear Blaster talk because, we'll bring that up a little
But
later.
anyway, Tina has a job for Max that she feels is capable of with his skills. She wants him to take out the ruler of Bartertown's underground, Master Blaster, who is a short man named Master, and his large, burly steed, Blaster.
It's a midget and a tough guy. That's just call it for what it is.
Yeah, pretty much what it is, but he's not... He's just like a built guy. He's not tall.
He's not built. He's got the look of a burly shit brick house.
Yeah.
But anyway, he rules the underground, which is where Bartertown gets its energy from pig methane.
Pig shit!
Which actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, definitely.
And as Max soon finds out upon infiltrating the underground, Master Blaster has a bit of an ego because he controls all the energy of Bartertown, and he's able to put an embargo on it whenever he feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make Auntie, to prove a point,
Who
basically.
rules?
Who runs Bartertown?
You know.
You know who.
Say it.
Say it. Ha! Embargo off. Quick. Like a valve that he twists.
Yep.
That's actually like a steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Yep.
Just the post-apocalyptic design is just funny to me with some of the shit.
And we
long story short, though, Auntie Entity basically hires
Max to take out Master, or at the very least Blaster.
Take out Blaster.
Yeah.
To quell Master.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Auntie agrees to return everything that was stolen from Max in exchange for eliminating Blaster in the Thunderdome.
How do we get into Thunderdome?
It's war games. It's war games.
Yep.
You gotta have a blood field.
Literally.
Yeah, you basically just gotta get into it. Pick a fight.
It's basically their answer to any actual violent outburst in the... It's how they deal with conflicts without triggering a war, because they think, oh, this is the better alternative to war. We saw how war worked out last time.
There's only one law in Bartertown. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
So yeah, Thunderdome is basically just a blood arena.
Pretty much.
Which sort of makes Bartertown's whole existence very questionable. Like, who the fuck decided to be in charge?
Tina Turner.
Auntie Entity obviously founded the thing, but like, who died and made her queen?
Everybody else.
She looked. I'm sorry, but she's like the only female in that town.
And that's how she has all the power.
She's not actually the only female. It's just like...
Well, the one that we see the most. The rest are probably in the brothel.
I do like that Auntie Entity gets a scene where she explains that before all the shit went down, she was a nobody. But after all this shit happened, I was the only one left, and I became a somebody.
Yep, pretty much.
She wants to hold on to that being a somebody.
Yeah, I guess so. So they pick a fight, Master Blaster and Max, and they go into the Thunderdome, and they have a big hayrube.
I like how they like introduce. They have like an announcer person.
The way they introduce this guy, he starts off. They introduce him by selling Max's camels at an auction.
Yeah.
At an auction, and Max is fucking pissed to see this. And then this guy's basically the MC of Bartertown.
I mean, he looks like if you need an announcer, this guy is the guy to do
This guy is the Australian equivalent to Michael Buffer.
Michael Buffer. Oh, shit. Pretty much, yeah.
Pay me and I'll announce shit perfectly. So they have a big hayrube. Max figures out earlier in the movie that Blaster fucking hates loud noises.
Because when Master forces Max to disarm the bomb on his vehicle, it produces
an alarm goes off.
Yeah, it produces a really loud noise, and Max notices how it affects Blaster.
Right. And so Max finally gets the upper hand. Gets the dog whistle, and
which he just has on his person. He even tests it to see if that works against Blaster down in the...
Yeah. And, he basically wins the fight and smashes...
It's a really well-done fight sequence with, like, bungee cords and hanging weapons. And a good chunk of the match is Max trying to get his hands on the whistle. And even when he has it, actually trying to get it into his mouth so he can use it.
Yeah, Max is like in a reverse bear hug, and he tries to get it into his mouth, and I was like, just kind of just spits it back out.
Yeah. Long story short, it turns out after Max basically
knocks his helmet off,
not just knocked it, like it looked like he nearly decapitated this kid.
This huge hammer.
This big burly bastard who has a kid face.
Yeah, it turns out he's
He has Down. He's got Down syndrome.
Yeah, he's got Down syndrome. Yep.
And Master actually comes to Blaster's defense, trying to convince Max not to kill him. Which this whole situation with Blaster, that rubs Max the wrong way.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's basically like you're making me kill this kid. You're making me kill somebody who's mentally incapable.
Yeah.
Of actually.
And he calls out Auntie Entity for that not being part of the deal.
Right.
Then the audience...
Which surprises Master because he wasn't even aware there was a deal between the two.
Yeah. Then the audience just starts chanting, one
They kill Blaster.
Oh yeah, like
they just straight up
murder him.
They murder him. Max has nothing to do with it. They're just like, nope, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and they shoot Blaster dead.
And since Max broke the agreement with Anti-Entity, he has to face punishment, because that's a thing in this town.
Yes, and it's like they have to spin a wheel to make a deal.
The wheel of misfortune!
What did it land on?
Gulag,
which is basically exile into the desert.
But there were some other options like spin again, Auntie's choice.
Life imprisonment. I think there was one where it was like...
Oh, we forgot to mention one of the guys Max met down in the underworld.
Pig Killer.
He meets a guy named...
who's given the nickname Pig Killer, which is written across his chest, because he killed a pig to try and feed his family. He's a little mentally unhinged, but...
Wouldn't you if you were surrounded by a bunch of pigs, eventually?
Yeah.
So
here's the here's the options that they had. They had forfeit goods. They had spin again, hard labor, acquittal, gulag, Auntie's choice, life imprisonment, amputation, underworld, and death. And underworld obviously would have meant that they would have had to
turn him into a slave.
Yeah.
Just like Pig Killer.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, that's yikes.
Yeah,
and Auntie's choice obviously probably would have been death.
Or whatever sick, twisted thing she could have come up with.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, Max is strapped to a horse, tied up, gets a big goofy mask on his head,
and he's just kind of running.
They send the horse off out into the desert,
and the horse pretty much dies of dehydration.
But that's not before Pig Killer sends Max's monkey friend out to save.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does the monkey show up ever again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't really feel like the monkey plays too much of a role after this point.
It really doesn't.
No, not really.
I think the monkey doesn't really show up again after this.
But as Max is wandering through the desert again with little resources, but a jug of water, thanks to Monkey, he finds himself in a
paradise of some sort.
An oasis in one of the caverns in the desert, which is occupied by a group of kids.
Kids, teenagers, etc. Children.
Who view him as the walker.
Did we mention that the horse got caught in a sinkhole?
I think you were saying that, but I kind of had to interrupt for her.
Yeah. Oh, it was a sinkhole.
It was a sinkhole.
I thought it was...
Like, this horse, goes head first, straight up dies, and then sinks into a sinkhole. And it's, very, sudden and gruesome, the way it happens, because it's oh, fuck.
Because Max ends up getting free, because I believe he's, tied to the horse.
Yeah.
And then he sees what's happening, he's trying to climb up.
He's getting the fuck out of there.
Yep. And then, as he gets to the top, Monkey's there with water.
Because, it's been a day and a half without water.
But he gets found in the desert by one of the kids, and they apparently this oasis is called Planet Earth.
Planet Earth?
Yeah.
We soon learn that these kids aren't the brightest, but they have.
They were pretty much raised in the wild.
They kind of had to raise themselves because the explanation that is given seems like some ancient history, but it's the long and short of it is basically there was a plane crash. The pilot of the plane, Captain Walker, went out with some people to go try and find help, saying that he would come back and send somebody to come get the kids. That never happened. So they've been living. They've been living with the belief that a walker would be coming to bring them back to civilization, which doesn't really exist as it once was.
No. Everything's a fucking wasteland.
Everything's a shithole.
Mm-hmm.
And when Max realizes what's going on and explains that he can't take them to this promised paradise that they think he's come to deliver them to, some of them just decide to strike out on their own.
They straight up leave in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not before being captured and imprisoned for trying to leave.
Yeah.
But
And then one of them dies in a sinkhole.
Yep.
yeah, Max ends up going out with a few other kids to go rescue, to go bring the fleers back, and they save them from the sinkhole. But one kid unfortunately succumbs to the sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
Which has to be like the worst way to die. On it, like suffocating.
Yeah.
And the entire reason Max didn't want anybody to leave was because he knew that there was no Tomorrowland.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But before the sinkhole thing is the lead girl in that group wants to go off and continue, but Max is telling her no. So he grabs a gun, kind of shoots at her. Then she throws a spear at him, and then they start.
He just
cold cocks the kid.
I wanted to skip past that. He fucking cold cocks her, and so
the entire reason he doesn't want to leave anywhere is because he knows that this is a paradise compared to the rest of the world.
Right, and so I think right here is right where we should leave.
Okay, saving them from the
saving them from the sinkhole.
Okay.
Because they realize the closest civilization is Bartertown.
Which Max has warned against because he's been there, and it's not a place for young kids to be.
Nope. So, with that said, we'll move right into the next part of it before we get to spoilers. What's your favorite characters in this movie?
It's actually got a few good ones.
It's got a couple of really memorable characters. I mean, Tina Turner's character is good. Master Blaster, the person who plays Master actually. So this was '85. This person, it's like an Italian name, actually starred in Todd Browning's 1929 movie Freaks.
Oh, wow.
23.
Angelo Rosito.
Yes, Angelo Rosito. 29. Yeah, 29.
I believe,
1929.
It was before the 30s.
It was definitely before the 30s. Actually, no, I think it was 32. Yes, it would have been 32. Freeze.
I'm not much of a film buff, so I don't know offhand.
That's not it. 1932. It was just and that movie sort of killed Todd Browning's career. But yeah, the guy who plays Master was in
the movie Freaks.
Was in the movie Freaks from the 30s. This guy is old, and he
looks pretty damn old.
And he's a midget. He's a midget. He looked old for a midget. Do they? I don't know. Do they call themselves midgets nowadays?
I don't know, and I don't want to. I've been avoiding saying it just in case.
Little person.
A little person.
Would probably
a small person. I'm proud of it. I don't know what they call themselves.
They're just regular humans, just shorter. It's simple enough.
I get it, yeah. But it's like albinos. Albinos are not any different, but there's a word for them. I don't know if they take that offensively or not.
I don't think they would because it's a scientific term.
Right.
Because albino can apply to any animal that has albinism. It's just a natural condition. It's
I don't want to say dwarfism. Because that's also a term for it.
Yeah.
Well, there's also giantism too.
There's also gigantism. Yes. Long story short, guy's short, and he's from the movie Freaks. So that's really cool.
I believe he was like the ringmaster.
Not the who?
No, the little guy.
Little guy, no.
No, and I'm talking about the movie Freaks.
Oh, movie Freaks. Yeah, I don't know. Master was one of the smaller folks who does the big chase scene.
Gobble,
gobble, gobble, gobble. Anyways, back to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, the 1985 movie that somehow is more memorable than the first two movies, but is so disrespected.
Yeah,
that is weird. I didn't mind this movie.
I have to admit, yeah,
I did not mind this movie. Why does it get so much fucking hate?
Because it's not the first two. Because here's my theory. Okay, here's my theory. So the first movie is a very slow and prodding psychological thriller about a cop in the near dystopian future who is basically lost everything he loves, so he's going after a big biker gang as sort of a cry of vengeance. And then the second movie is this whole like, oh, we have to work together to save fuel, and we have to you know, we can become better people if we work through our community. And then there's the third movie where it's like, I got my shit robbed. You want me to kill this guy for you? I'm not gonna kill him. Send me out in the desert. I've got a bunch of fucking kids I've got to now babysit. The fuck's up with that? And there's a midget. There's a big train scene.
Dude, spoilers.
It's a fucking 45-year-old movie.
35.
30. No. 80, 90. Yeah, 37-year-old movie.
Roughly.
Well, also, I think they can't, like, people can't get it through their heads that actually the third movie is actually better than the first and second.
Oh, God, yes. I think it's better. I don't think it's...
Like, you know...
I don't think it's a technical masterpiece like the first two, but...
I definitely prefer this over the first one.
Yeah.
But you prefer Road Warrior because, Fist of the North Star. Ooh.
I just feel that the second movie does a better job of conveying the post-apocalyptic world that the series is supposed to be set.
I think this one's obviously takes place like
it's less,
like maybe a couple years after.
Takes place a couple years afterwards.
I'm not saying that I prefer the second movie because simply Fist of the North Star. It's because of how influential the second movie is on the post-apocalyptic genre. How we think of a post-apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yes, Fist of the North Star is a part of it, but it is also taking heavily from from the second movie.
But we all can agree that Fury Road is obviously the best one out of all of them.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say that.
I can.
You'll probably agree.
You'll agree.
I might.
And we'll have somebody that's not playing Max who is not a racist
Anti-Semite.
prick.
Yeah, we get Eddie Brock.
Eddie. Oh, yeah.
And Bane.
And Tom Holland, yeah.
Tom Holland?
I can't remember his last
Tom
name.
Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man. You got the wrong spider-themed Marvel character.
Hey, he's in the verse.
Hey, I got
He is now, yes.
Hey, I got the first name right.
Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock, yeah.
Okay. So, who's your favorite character?
It's still kind of up in the air.
I like Panhead.
A lot of there's a lot
The
of
mechanic guy.
there's a lot of memorable characters, but I wouldn't say that there's a lot of good characters.
No.
I think personally, I'd go for Tina Turner's character.
I mean,
Just because of the fact that she's a powerful woman who's also power hungry. She was able to come from nothing and rule a town, and she kind of takes it a bit far. And
yeah.
Although Master's a pretty good character too.
Master's pretty good until he loses Blaster, and at which point he becomes a docile sack of shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has no power anymore.
He has no power. Which is whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm okay with like the dynamics, like the dual struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
like once that gets taken out, it's like okay.
I don't know if you like you know, Fistful of Dollars. The whole story is about the dual conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this one, it's like we've got a dual conflict. Oh no, we've solved it within the first 30 minutes. I'm not kidding. It was like 30 minutes in, and they had already solved it.
I can neither confirm nor deny this. I feel that it's like about halfway through the movie, but
No, because halfway through the movie,
it felt like it was halfway through the movie. At least
where
in
the
terms
spot
of
where it happened, if they filmed it opposite where Max and Blaster would probably fought, and that would have been probably more of the.
long story short, none of these characters are good people. Tina Turner's a big.
You don't need to be a good person to be a good character.
I'm just
Darth Vader wasn't a good person, but he was a good character.
Anakin Skywalker begs to differ.
Yeah, but that's Anakin Skywalker, not Darth Vader. Ha!
Yeah, technically, you're true from a certain perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Obi-Wan.
You're welcome.
I have the high ground.
But like none of these people are like very good. They're very basic characterizations. You got
Pig Killer would probably be the best.
Yeah, he's the most kind of out there characterization where he's just like, I killed a pig,
And now now I have to work with pigs.
now I have to work with pigs. All right, Pig Killer's my name.
I feel it's worth noting that none of us are even coming close to saying that Max is a good character.
Max is not a good character.
He punched a girl.
That's not why I don't think Max is a good character. Max, outside of the first movie, Max's whole existence boils down to, I arrive, I witness stuff, I do a few things, and then I leave.
And I got the series named after me because of it.
And
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Max is Kenshiro.
If Kenshiro didn't matter...
Yes!
Exactly.
Pretty much.
If Kenshiro did not have the ability of Hokuto Shinken, that's Mad Max.
Yeah, Kenshiro is far and away a better character than Max ever was.
I mean, that doesn't really take much.
No.
Yeah, Max arrives, sees shit, and leaves in each of the movies. I think, hell, even Fury Road, he's kind of a worthless character. He's just there. His whole existence really boils down to, I've got to run from these guys. And that's the whole movie. And it's everybody else who has characterizations. Max is really just sort of the wanderer.
Kinda, yeah.
He's like I don't know. He's a character who shows up, sees stuff. It doesn't really matter much to the play. Like if you took out Max, maybe not much actually changes. But at the same time, like him being there it's like Indiana Jones. If you take out Indiana Jones, like what happens? The stuff that Indiana Jones was trying to prevent happens anyways.
Well, kinda.
I mean, we talked about this with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Whether Indiana Jones was there or not, it wouldn't change much.
Not much, no.
They'd still get the Ark, Indiana Jones's presence is really dependent on whether or not Belloc opens the Ark. That's really what it boils down to. If Indiana Jones was there, would Belloc open the Ark early? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's whatever. I don't know. So favorite character? Not really any. There's not really any favorite character. There's a bunch of memorable characters. I don't know if I have a favorite.
I mean, I've already said that. I think that Tina Turner character is
said
my
Tina Turner.
personal favorite.
Tank.
The guy who was working on Max's car.
Right. Right. If I do that, it'll blow.
Take it off.
Right. Yes. Right. All right. Take it off. Yeah. This guy who just he's
got a pan on, like a straining pan on his head.
He is this guy who is trying desperately to appease his boss, but knows that if he fucks up, everyone's dead.
Yep. Pigs are dead. We'll be covered in pig shit. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite character. Maybe maybe.
I just thought he was funny.
Maybe Pig Killer because he's got a few funny jokes.
All right.
So, favorite scenes? Obviously, the Thunderdome scene.
Yeah, that's a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
Whole crux of the movie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's really any other memorable scenes outside of Thunderdome. There's memorable lines outside of Thunderdome.
I think.
The finale.
Yeah, we can't really talk
the
about
Mad
that.
Max. It wouldn't be a Mad Max movie if there wasn't a chase of some sort.
But yeah, we'll get to that in the spoiler section.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything you guys didn't like about the movie?
Mel Gibson.
I mean, that's really only applicable in retrospect.
Mel Gibson sucks. I don't know. The fact that Mel Gibson has long hair in this movie really throws me off.
Yeah, at first, yeah.
Yeah, that's like in none of the images on the DVD case.
No.
Not at all. Like, he's
not
got
the poster or anything.
like the kids give him a haircut.
So the fact that he looks like his character from Lethal Weapon kind of throws me off.
Honestly, Mel Gibson with long hair just doesn't work.
No.
Outside of Lethal Weapon.
It's not even long hair. It's a fucking, it's the most 80s mullet you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the...
I mean, I get the point of it.
I get it too, but it's like... It is so 80s mullety. It's got the short cropped front hair. There's gray sides on the thing, and then it runs all the way. It's like all business in the front, all party in the back, and it goes down to his shoulder. It looks like he could be in a fucking L'Oreal commercial. Could be in a fucking WWE. It looks like he's got Shawn Michaels hair from 1992. Let me throw you a picture of that.
I'm imagining it, and yeah, that seems like it would fit.
Yeah, definitely. I can see it.
Hold on. Yeah, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much what I was imagining.
It's
Rocky Michaels.
Spot on. The Shawn Michaels business in the front, party in the back. Bullshit. Oh, man. It's so weird looking. But then when he gets his short hair, it's like...
It looks better.
Yeah, he looks like more...
When he gets his short hair, that's like... That's Mel Gibson.
Yep.
I can tell that's Mel Gibson. When Mel Gibson has long hair, it's like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Who is this mulleted freak?
It's the guy from Braveheart.
It's the guy from Braveheart.
Literally, he looked like the character.
I'm actually trying to remember.
But here's the thing.
William Wallace, right?
Yeah, William Wallace. But here's the thing. In Braveheart, Mel Gibson had actual long hair.
Yes.
Not a mullet.
Yeah, it was just long hair, not mullet, not styled at all.
It's like my hair if it was straight. It's like the hair. It's like Triple H's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H's long locks back in the day before he shaved it all off and was like, I am Bod Dad. I am the bionic father.
Nowadays, yeah, he would be.
He looks like a fucking bionic father. A middle-aged bionic dude. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger's body, but transplanted on like a middle-aged dad in his 50s. Where he's just...
So I guess we're in agreement. The worst part about this movie is Mel Gibson's hair for the first
Mel
half.
Gibson's hair for the first half of this movie is terrible.
All right.
I will.
I'll take it because he doesn't.
I also really don't like how Master basically becomes a non-entity in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, after
Blaster's killed. Because it's after that where they throw him in pig shit. They have pigs fucking.
Yeah, they lower him into the pigs, and the pigs start to nibble on him a little.
Basically threatening to feed him to the pigs.
Yeah. If it's just me, I probably would have gone all out with it.
I guess it just kind of puts into perspective how not that bad of a villain he was.
Maybe it's just he had power go to his head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He had a position of reverence, but he let that
go to his head, and
it's like if the manager of the power. It's like I'm trying to think of an allegory for this.
It's like if the sub boss just of a video game just came across as though he were the big boss. And then the big boss shows up and is like, hey, what are you doing? Sorry.
Starscream?
Yes.
Works for me.
See, you had me in the first half because I was like, Kefka?
Except he turns out to be the lead villain.
He turns out to be the real villain all along. And mind you, Kefka, he's the only villain in Final Fantasy to actually succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is wild back in the day. Most movies, they don't have the villain succeed. Only rarely do villains actually succeed.
Now, Final Fantasy 6, let's have the villain win.
I think, there's a James Bond movie, two James Bond movies where the villain actually wins in the end. But, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah?
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, what's next? I don't know.
I don't know. We're just kind of ranting here.
I don't fucking know. Fuck it. Spoiler time?
I think we should go through to recommendations first.
Okay, we'll go through recommendations. Tank, what's your recommendation this week?
I reckon, if I can talk.
I too recommend talking.
It's good to... It's a good thing to try doing.
I recommend Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's a fighting game that is basically an adaptation of the comic storyline Shattered Grid, which is a fantastic storyline, and this is a pretty good game adaptation of it. Basically, it's Power Rangers from the various series is trying to face an evil Tommy from an alternate universe who's trying to amass power, and it's destabilizing the entire multiverse.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much what all he all said.
Yeah. That one sounds about right. That sounds pretty cool.
It's a fun fighting game. It murdered my fingers a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Lord Draken's just tough to beat.
I've got a recommendation. It's the greatest recommendation of all time.
It can't be Clock Tower. You've
It's
done
not
it too
Clock-
many
it's
times.
Not Clock Tower. I recommend Super High Glide for the... No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God!
I'm kidding. Jesus. It's actually Virtual High Glide.
Oh, God! Get out! You weren't canceled before, you are now.
Who the fuck would recommend Virtual High Glide?
Oh, God.
Oh, man. No. The High Glide games are terrible. Don't fucking ever. I think... And the first one came out before Zelda. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
It was Zelda done wrong before Zelda did it right.
Yeah. That is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus Christ.
So what is your recommendation?
You know what? Let's throw it to you. What's your recommendation?
I'm going to recommend Ultra Q. I've been watching it quite a bit recently. It's essentially a Japanese version of the Twilight Zone with giant monsters. And there's really not much more I can say. If you like the Twilight Zone, you'll probably enjoy Ultra Q and its spin-offs. I mean, granted, it did lead to Ultraman, which is very not Twilight Zone at all, but it's arguably more popular than Ultra Q was, but I would still definitely recommend checking out Ultra Q Dark Fantasy, or Neo Ultra Q, because they're all pretty much, what if Japan had a Twilight Zone series? Also monsters. You've got funny episodes, you've got serious episodes, you've got introspective, existential episodes. It runs a whole gamut. It's very much the Japanese Twilight Zone. I keep saying that, but it's because that's the best comparison.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Now for my recommendation. Have I recommended Sweet Home in the past?
I think so.
Have I?
I feel like you have.
Alright, what about Splatterhouse? Let's recommend
Okay,
there we go.
Splatterhouse is a series of 5 games, technically 5.
Yeah.
3 main titles, 1 reboot, and
a spin-off.
And a spin-off parody.
Yes, which...
It's a cut up, beat 'em up.
They're all beat 'em up.
It's a it's a slasher horror themed beat 'em up with Lovecraftian elements.
Lots of
Yes.
Lovecraftian elements.
Yes.
And the first game came out in arcades in 1988.
It also came out on the TurboGrafx 16 not long after.
Or the PC Engine, whichever you prefer.
Eventually, the reboot came out on the PlayStation 3, was it?
Yep.
2010.
And thankfully, it included almost all of the previous games.
Yeah, personally, I like the remake, but I don't think it's very good.
It's a good way to blow off steam.
It could have been better,
Mm-hmm.
and really, that's not because of anybody who was designing the game. The game was stuck in development hell for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it suffered from the Duke Nukem Forever syndrome of too many changing hands.
Too many cooks, too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, too many cooks spoil the soup. And Splatterhouse was definitely spoiled soup for the most part.
I still enjoy it. But
It's still enjoyable. It's just the mechanics are a bit wonky. There's a lot of instant death. It takes too long to load. So my recommendations is honestly 1, 2, and 3. Those are my recommendations.
Those are good, solid arcade beat 'em ups.
Yes.
Really hard, but incredibly satisfying.
Splatterhouse 1, you definitely gotta look for the arcade version. I think it's the superior version. It's got the better music. You actually, it's a lot gorier.
Yep.
But that's not really. You fight an upside down cross in the arcade version instead of a blue man. I'm not kidding. An upside down
Crucifix.
An upside down
Jesus on it.
Yeah, an upside down crucifix. It's amazing, like how much this game got away with in '88.
Yeah.
And then it was censored heavily in the TurboGrafx PC Engine port, but that's neither here nor there.
Like the most obvious change, just a glance, is changing the white mask of the main character to a red mask.
Yep.
And I'm okay with them changing.
That's fine. I entirely understand why, due to the whole copyright thing.
Really, the whole thing with the mask is that it changes the way it looks.
Like each game.
Game, and the remake uses the Splatterhouse 3 design, which
More
I'm fine
or less,
with.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I actually like the Splatterhouse 3 design.
I agree.
And Splatterhouse 2 is very good. It's probably fundamentally the best out of the 3. It's fundamentally the best out of all of them. I still think 3 is the better game overall. It's a better package overall. It's got better music. The Japanese version gives you a lot more time. So, for comparison, like the first level, every level, there's time trials, and to get the best ending, you have to get the best time in each one. In the American version, it's like 5 minutes that it gives you to rescue Jennifer in the first map. It gives you 5 minutes. In the Japanese,
that's the third game.
I'm sorry, third game. In the first map.
Yeah.
In the first map, first level in the third game gives you 5 minutes to rescue Jennifer. Meanwhile, in the Japanese version, it gives you 8 minutes. It gives you 3 extra minutes. The big difference, though, is that there's a few key differences between the Japanese and the American version. In the American version, you can do a spin kick, which makes you invulnerable to damage. Well, in the Japanese version, it's a different kind of attack. I can't remember what it is, but it's harder to pull off, I think. The differences between the American version and the Japanese version is why it's hard to recommend 3. Because the fundamental differences between the two of them evens it out, but does not make them either the optimal experience. It's not like, Castlevania 3, where the Japanese version is clearly the superior version, just in a vacuum. So, I don't know what you know about the difference between the American and the Japanese.
Not a whole lot, no.
So, American version of Castlevania 3 is exponentially harder. The Japanese version of Castlevania 3 Akamaja Densetsu, it has Grant having throwing knives instead of a dagger. The damage is based on enemy type, not level type. Sypha is extremely strong against Dracula. Dracula's Alucard's turning into a bat uses less hearts. And really, it's just like it's a slightly easier game, but a better experience. It's hard to explain.
For as flawed as the reboot of Splatterhouse is, I think probably my favorite part of that game is the fact that they got Jim Cummings to voice the mask.
They got Jim Cummings.
Like, he is an entertaining character in that game.
And you know what's sad? As sad as that is, Jim Cummings does not like voicing that character. He actually hates it. He outright is like, I don't know why people like it. I did it for a paycheck. Which sucks. It sucks, because he...
That's kind of a Hugo Weaving way of thinking of things.
Yeah. I guess the way he saw it is he doesn't really like being dark.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, most of the characters he voices are in kids' shows.
Yeah. So. He voices, what's his name from Goofy?
Pete?
Pete, yeah. Pete, his neighbor. And a lot of other very good characters, mostly in kids' media.
I think it's the juxtaposition of being a familiar character, voice actor from kids' shows in such a dark game with such a dark sense of humor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I can respect him not liking the character, but personally, I do enjoy it. The character, I think it's one of the best things about the game.
A lot of people do as well. From what I know, he doesn't like being asked about it. It's one of those. It's like Christopher Lee in Dracula. He fucking hates being asked about that all the time because he's old.
Or Alec Guinness and
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about Alec Guinness's performance. She does not like Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan because her argument is that he's very old man who yells at clouds and just like
old man that yells at clowns.
She loves
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, she loves Ewan McGregor's portrayal of it. And honestly, I can see her argument.
I can too.
Yeah. Like Ewan McGregor is definitely a very good Obi-Wan. I like Alec McGuinness. There's a few subtleties in his performance.
It's Guinness, not McGuinness.
I keep doing McGuinness for whatever reason.
Because
you're probably thinking of Batman Beyond, Terry McGuinness.
Maybe. Oh, fuck that. Jesus.
What? It's a good show.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman Beyond's pretty good, actually. It's also like Mark Hamill going from...
Joker.
Going from Luke Skywalker, the definition of a
goody
of a very good character, a definition of white morality. Then going to the Joker, who is absolute black morality.
Then he voiced Chucky in that terrible reboot.
And he voiced Chucky, but I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 exactly with Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill ended up doing a lot of darker characters as well. He's the big bad in Avatar.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah. Which is a very good performance.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yes. Oh, my God. I whenever I think of Mark Hamill also voice acting, I'm reminded that he also co-voice acted with Tim Curry, and that immediately switches over to I am escaping to the one place uncorrupted by capitalism.
Space!
They're both fantastic.
Oh God, I love them. Tim Curry has not been in good health lately.
No, he isn't.
Oh, I have not heard anything.
He's getting worse.
Ooh, that is.
I don't know if it's cancer or whatever.
It could be the disease he actually has. That's kind of still.
It's. Yeah, he had to cancel a couple of things. Let me here. Yeah, he hasn't been doing too well lately. Yeah, it's fantastic actor. He's probably most famous, obviously, for It, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Home Alone 2.
I would definitely say that he is our generation's equivalent to Vincent Price.
Oh
Yeah. I mean, he would be last generation's Vincent Price.
So our generation.
Your generation, not my. Technically, I'm in the same generation as you.
Kind of bleeding edge there.
It's a bleed. I bleed in between. I bleed in between millennials and Generation Y.
I don't know.
Gen Z.
I always lose track of who's what.
Well, side tangent. I believe millennials are 1980 to 96.
I just remember getting called a boomer, and I just wanted to smack the kid.
Okay, boomer.
Just like, excuse me? I could be your dad.
Everybody forgets about Gen X, though, with good reason. They haven't done anything. They're old enough to make change, but they haven't done anything.
But that's not a topic for this kind of podcast.
It's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. We've got plenty to talk about politically. After all, it's a dual power struggle. What do you think's going on now?
Pandemic.
The aliens and the undergrounders are trying to get at us.
Okay, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly
Sorry,
right.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was going for both of them. Joe Rogan's a nut job.
Anyway.
So I suppose we should get back to the movie.
Should we?
I think we've gotten past the recommendations, so yeah, it's about time to.
So anyway, they sneak into Bartertown through the sewers. They save They save Master, beat the fuck out of all the guards, and they blow up the methane refinery, which basically destroys Bartertown from within. And they take a train that's in the underground, take it out, and then they get chased by Tina Turner's character Aunt Entity, who's like, "We'll rebuild Bartertown, but
we just need to get Master back.
But first, let's kill these fuckers
and get Master back. Because we need Master back to rebuild the methane refinery."
Right. And so, big chase scene, and yeah, that's kind of
the rest of the movie. Really,
kind of the rest of the movie. It's a big chase scene. They
not really much we can say.
Yeah,
it's visually fantastic.
Yeah.
But
there's a good scene where one of the kids, I believe his name is Screw Loose.
Yep.
He hops on board one of the cars and he knocks the dude out with a frying pan. And the dude gets back up, and he fucking knocks him out again with a frying pan.
Yeah, there's a lot
it's
of
like a
humor.
slapstick routine with this movie. I think that's why people didn't like it, because it was a lot less serious.
Maybe.
It's a lot more slapsticky. Long story short, they stop the train. They find Jedediah's hideout.
Yep. Junior pretty much is about to rob them.
Junior tries to hold him up before realizing they're being chased by a whole bunch of other vehicles. He's outgunned.
Yeah. He's like, I think we're fucked.
Dad, we gotta get out of here.
Dad, we gotta get out of here. Stop the plane.
It's fine. We'll be fine. And then Max and the kids enter into the underground domain.
You!
Shit.
It's your lucky day.
What is it? You have a plane. I do?
Anyway, everybody get on the fucking plane.
We're not going to be able to take off. We're too heavy.
So they push off all the Jebediah's and Jebediah Jr.'s shit so they can actually take off.
And long story short, Max basically leaves himself
to give them the chance to escape.
And they manage to. And finally, he's cornered by Auntie Entity. And she's just like, Not today. Not today. And it just leaves.
Yeah.
Yep, and
It's like, you put up a damn good fight. I respect that. See ya.
yep.
And anyway, the kids and Jedediah, they eventually find Sydney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Find the remains of Sydney, where they end up living, and so that's where this lady is recounting the tale of the Wanderer, and that's where the movie ends.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, the second half, not a lot to talk about.
No.
It's like every other Mad Max movie we've reviewed. The second half is really just a chase that we don't really have a lot to talk about.
It's definitely more show don't tell, and we have a hard time telling as it is.
Yeah,
it's not like Alien Invaders where there's nothing to tell.
Yes,
nothing to show for.
Yeah, when I sat down to watch that, it was just like, wow, these guys aren't into this. Not at all. Then I remember actually watching it as a kid, and I agreed with everything you guys said.
I didn't even really remember a whole lot about it from when I watched it as a kid.
I still remember the song because it's so ear bleed. A couple of pops for Scooby-Doo. At least it isn't as bad as Goes Hollywood, where that was stuck in my head for fucking weeks, and you know which song it was. Actually, it was two of them. It was the 50s Greaser one, and then it was the ice rink one.
I have blocked those from my memory for good reason.
Because if you remember them, they'll get stuck in your head. It's nightmare fuel, I'm telling you.
That's
it's auditory nightmare fuel.
It's auditory nightmare. Imagine, you're lying in bed at night, and you're just like about to go to sleep, and then a ruby dooby 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 scooby doo doo, a ruby doo, and your eyes just flash up, and you're like, no!
And that's why I listen to stuff as I sleep, to block out the noise in my own head.
What do you think I do? That's what I like to do as well. Absolute nightmare fuel.
But anyway, back to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Well, how would you rate the movie? 7?
I would agree, 7.
So yeah, it's a good solid.
I think that's been equal for all the movies except... Yeah, I think that's been equal for all movies. It's been in the 7 range. Not great, not great, not terrible.
I think
that's a Chernobyl reference.
I feel I probably rated the second movie a bit higher than the 7, but that's
I don't even remember what we rated the first one.
I think you rated it a 7.5, and I called you a twat for it.
That sounds about right.
I'm like, I don't fucking get you, dude.
Well, there's no accounting for taste.
No.
I do, actually. I do account for taste.
You're a taste accountant?
I am a taste accountant at your service. Here's my business card.
He's a con artist. I'll take that.
Hey, that's my stick of gum. I was going to say, this is just a stick of gum.
See? Taste accountant.
And he got me there.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do Jurassic Park. Fucking Jeff Goldblum.
You put it on like a lunchbox, and you sold it, and you sold it, and you sold it.
and that's chaos theory.
Yeah. And now I'm all by myself. Yeah.
So anything else you want to say about this movie?
That is one big pile of shit.
Okay. It's not as bad as people say it is.
No,
there, I said it.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I had to throw in that last
Hey, if you're down to do Jurassic,
to it, obviously.
Yeah.
hey, if you guys are doing down to doing Jurassic Park, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably get to like
We'll probably end up doing the first two and then switching it over to Gamezong with you as a guest, since we've already done plain reviews of the first two.
I was gonna say, I mean, we'll get to Jurassic Park 1, and then we'll get to Lost World, and I'll probably call in and say I'm stuck in a subway somewhere, just so I don't have to do that movie.
It's better than Jurassic World 2: Fallen Kingdom.
Or what did you call it?
Jurassic Park 2.
I called it Jurassic Park 5. Jurassic Park 5, The Lost World 2, Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because that is basically what that movie is. And I will go into much more detail when we eventually cover that movie.
Gamezong.
Yeah.
Yup.
Poor bastards.
We chose this fate. This was our decision.
He-Man.
That was also
that
like...
reminds me. So yeah, they've got he's got a Skeletor figure up there. I was just reminded of like a really in poor taste joke that Skeletor did. So like they captured She-Ra.
Yeah.
Right, and she realizes she's captured and she faints. And so they're like, "Oh, she's fainted." Yeah, just like a woman.
I vaguely recall that. I'm actually currently watching She-Ra. I consider it a better show than He-Man.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there. I think She-Ra is a better show.
She-Ra, Defender of the Universe?
No, She-Ra, Princess of Power. But in general, the plot of that show I feel is better than He-Man. So that's my hot take.
That doesn't sound nearly as interesting as what I had. But, oh well.
Hulk He-Man. There.
He-Man. It's He-Man, Defender of the Universe. Is that what it is? Or Protector of the Universe?
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
That's lame. Who wants to be a master?
I'd rather be a doctor.
I now dub thee Dr. Proto.
Yay, I have a PhD.
I too have a PhD in kicking ass!
His coat just tears itself off. Still got the scarf, though. I mean,
yeah. I gotta have the scarf. I gotta have the fourth Doctor's scarf on me. For reference, I'm wearing my work shirt, and then underneath, I have
hoodie.
Another hoodie. And then underneath that, I have a TMNT shirt.
Which is weird, because you refuse to review those movies with us.
And then I also have long johns on.
It's cold.
I'm just got a T-shirt with Majora's Mask on it.
And then I've got the Doctor Who scarf. So like I fit more in as a doctor with the way I look than.
He's not wrong.
No.
I could pass for a doctor on the street and be like, "Yeah, I am the doctor. How's it going?
Where's my time machine?
Where's my TARDIS?" Mostly because I stand out because I have also long, freakish, shaggy hair.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, he does.
And it's only going to continue growing because I intend to not cut it off for a while.
That's your choice, bro.
Bruh.
So, do we have anything else we want to say?
I do.
What's the Scooby-Doo? The trail is back to you.
God damn it!
I'm gonna solve this.
God damn it!
I like that show, though.
It is great! That is too catchy of a theme song.
I mean, it's
stuck in my head right now.
I mean, it's total, like...
Earworm.
It's not just an earworm. It's like total early 2000s, like...
Just early 2000s.
I'm trying to think of the band name. What's my name again? Or what's my name?
No, that's not them. It's
No, I'm not saying it's them, but it's totally like...
Yeah, it's
them.
from that... Yeah, kind of.
It's totally
Simple
that.
Plan?
Not Simple Plan.
I think it is Simple Plan. I might be wrong.
State... Yeah. Enema of the State is their album. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Blink 182?
Yeah, it's totally Blink 182. But not Blink 182. It's like a total... Yeah. And then those guys that were...
It was Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's total early 2000s pop punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And not even like the good kind, like my Motion City soundtrack. I don't know. Any chance I get to hype Motion City soundtrack, I will, even if they aren't a band anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, that was Beyond Thunderdome. Bye.
See ya.
3 men entered. 3 of them left.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.